Hundreds of years ago, humanity exhausted Earth's natural resources, causing society to descend into chaos and war. The best scientists in the world took the mission of saving what was left of civilization and created genetically modified orchids that became the new energy source. However, humans still fought over their differences, so the scientists also created the transformation. When they turn 16, every person goes through a life-changing operation that transforms them into their most perfect self. These people are known as pretties, and since they're perfect and happy living in the city, conflict is avoided. Those who haven't gone through the procedure yet are called uglies and stay in the dorms in Uglyville. Tally can't wait to become a pretty and constantly uses an app on the mirror to see how she'd look after the procedure. Her best friend is Paris, and they call each other Nose and Squint since childhood. Sometimes they go to the bridge during curfew hours and use special glasses to watch the pretties partying in the city. Tally will be turning 16 in 3 months, but Paris is older and he's getting his operation tomorrow. They have matching scars on their hands and promise they won't let the doctors erase them when they become pretty. At that moment, a patrol drone flies by, so they run back to their dorms. The next day during assembly, Tally overhears other students discussing the Smoke, a hidden place outside the city led by some guy named David. It's said many people escape the city and hide there, but most students don't think it's real. At that moment, a hologram of Governor Cable appears and gives a speech on the importance of being pretty and perfect. Then, all those who turn 16 are called, and Tally says goodbye to Paris, while telling him to meet her at the bridge in 1 month. In the evening, Tally watches the fireworks above the city and remembers the day she met Paris. Her parents had just dropped her at the dormitories, and Paris was behind her in line. They exchanged nicknames and hit it off, so they quickly became best friends. One day, Paris accidentally cut his hand when taking a tablet from Tally, so she got the same scar while they promised to stay friends forever. Days pass, and Tally sticks to her routine of going to class and looking at herself in the mirror. She often checks her interface ring too, but there are no messages from Paris. After a month, Tally uses her ring to hack the window open and leaves it behind because it has a tracker. She sneaks around and makes it to the bridge, but Paris hasn't shown up. Getting worried, she uses some rope to climb on the bridge and dangerously moves under it until she makes it to the city. She sneaks around by hiding behind the plants, but when a partygoer drops a mask, Tally grabs it and puts it on. The mask puts on a hologram on her body, making it look like she's wearing a fancy dress. Now Tally can get into the party, and she's amazed by all the decorations. Eventually, she finds Paris, who looks completely different and doesn't recognize her. Tally takes off her mask and asks why he didn't go to the bridge. Paris explains things are different now, and he doesn't know how he could relate to her anymore. Tally can't believe what she's hearing and realizes how much he's truly changed when she notices his scar is gone. At that moment, the security system detects her presence, and Tally has to run away from the incoming guards. She gets stuck on a balcony, so she steals a bungee jacket and jumps. The fall is rather long, but the jacket causes her to bounce and land gently nearby instead. Then, Tally runs out of the city by climbing under the bridge again. When she accidentally kicks a stone into the water, a drone finds her and comes closer to arrest her. Suddenly, her classmate Shay appears and makes Tally get on her hoverboard so they can fly away to escape. The drone tries following them, but Shay is a fast driver and manages to lose it by doing tons of crazy turns in the woods. To thank her for the help, Tally breaks into the kitchen and steals some snacks. The girls bond over their experiences and how hard it is to be left behind when all their friends turn 16 first. They realize they have the same birthday and get excited to have a friend to become pretty with. The next day, Shay brings a second hoverboard and tries teaching Tally how to use it, but she immediately falls. At school, Tally is shocked to see some girls give Shay back a book, since those aren't around anymore. The girls are impressed by the text's description of surviving in nature and wonder if that's what the smoke is like. Tally borrows the book while the girls call her cool for her stunt last night, which makes her angry because it means Shay told everyone. She's afraid they may punish her by denying her the operation, but Shay assures her the system wants everyone to be a pretty. As days pass, Tally reads the book, but she still keeps dreaming about the operation. Shay continues to teach her how to use the hoverboard, and in return, Tally keeps on hacking with her ring to get extra food. Tally also shows Shay her pretty designs on the app, but Shay doesn't have an account. In fact, she isn't excited about the operation at all. Eventually, Tally learns how to fly well, and the girls use their hoverboards on crazy ramps to have fun. When Tally gives Shay the book back, she says she wishes she could visit that beautiful nature, and Shay mentions that it wouldn't be so bad not to get the operation, but Tally thinks that's crazy talk. Suddenly, Shay mentions the smoke and takes Tally to the edge of the woods. After leaving their rings on some branches, they cross the border by riding their hoverboards over the river. Eventually, they make it to the ruins of an old city, and Shay tells Tally about ancient objects like roller coasters. Next, Shay takes Tally into an abandoned building and drops the truth. The smoke is real, and David will be arriving soon. Shay refuses to get the surgery and will be leaving tonight, so she wants Tally to come with her. However, Tally turns her down, saying she doesn't want to be free, she wants to be pretty. An upset Shay gives her directions to reach the smoke in case Tally ever changes her mind, and hugs her before leaving on her hoverboard, following the sign of David's fire in another building. The next day, it's Tally's birthday, so she goes to the clinic for the surgery. However, they call everyone except for her. Then, a guard takes her away in an aircraft to see Dr. Cable, who explains Shay is missing. Tally says she doesn't know anything, but Cable can see her vitals on a screen that indicates she's lying. Cable tells Tally that Shay is in danger because David brainwashed her, and he's known for holding people against their will. When Tally insists she doesn't know anything, Cable sends her back to her dorm without getting the surgery. That night, Tally hears a noise and is surprised to see Paris appearing at the window. Tally explains what happened, and Paris thinks she should tell Cable what she knows so they can finally be together. The next day, Tally is again taken to see Cable, who tells her David is developing a weapon to attack the city, so she needs Tally to infiltrate the smoke. Tally agrees to help, and Cable promises that if she's successful, she'll get the surgery. She also gives Tally a necklace that flashes in her eyes, which she must activate when she finds the weapon's location. Afterward, Tally follows Shay's instructions and rides the hoverboard on the old roller coaster for a few miles. Eventually, she finds a gap and falls in the woods, but she's caught by a force field. There, she finds abandoned train tracks, which she must follow to find the smoke. For the next few days, Tally survives in the wild like she read in the book and admires nature like never before. She also gets to climb a mountain. Tally successfully makes a daring jump over a chasm on her hoverboard, but it temporarily shuts down. Just before hitting the ground, it reactivates, and she lands safely. Following instructions, she waits in a field of flowers, but is soon rescued by a man named David when the field catches fire. He removes a tracker hidden in her hoverboard, though the one in her necklace goes undetected. Meanwhile, Cable learns about the removed tracker and sends scouts after them. David takes Tally to a smoke outpost, where she reunites with her friends, Shay and Croy. They are cautious of her, but Shay vouches for her when the group heads out to burn toxic orchids that are devastating the environment. On this mission, Cable's scouts track them down, but Tally and Shay narrowly escape using a helicopter. Croy suspects Tally, but David defends her for risking her life for the smoke. Later, David introduces Tally to the smoke, a community living off the land. Tally adjusts to the lifestyle and grows closer to David, who gives her a pair of gloves, a significant gesture in the smoke. However, Shay warns Tally not to lead David on. On a walk, David takes Tally to meet his parents, who reveal disturbing secrets about the pretty surgeries, which involve brain manipulation to keep the population subdued. His parents fled the city to avoid this fate and have been trying to recreate a cure, but they are missing a key component. Tally decides to fully join the smoke and throws her necklace, the hidden tracker, into a fire. However, when it burns, it sends a signal to Cable, who attacks the smoke the next morning. The rebels are captured, including Shay, and Cable reveals that Tally has been unknowingly working for her, causing the smoke members to turn on her. David and Tally try to stop the chaos, but Cable forces Paris, who has been enhanced, to kill David's father, Azad. During the confusion, Tally sets fire to the supply shack to cause a distraction, and with a crossbow she helps David escape, taking down a scout in the process. After the battle, Paris wants to chase after the escaping rebels, but Cable orders the scouts to retreat. The scouts destroy Maddie's research and set the area on fire, while capturing all the prisoners and loading them onto aircraft. Afterward, David starts preparing for a rescue mission, but when Tally approaches to help, he lashes out, almost attacking her. He's lost trust in her, but Tally convinces him that he needs her since she knows the city better than he does. Back in the city, Tally connects with students who read Shay's book and introduces them to David to prove the smoke is real. She borrows an interface ring and gathers a group of teenagers to create a distraction by writing "The smoke lives" in the sky with their hoverboards. While this happens, Tally and David sneak into the aircraft at the clinic. They use hoverboards to land inside and carefully navigate the facility. Tally hacks a lock with the ring, but they are interrupted by a pretty, leading David into a fight. After subduing the pretty and taking his ring, they locate the prisoners and free them, though Shay is missing. Croy reveals that Shay has already undergone the surgery. David, Tally, and Maddie search for Shay and find her, but it's too late. She's become a pretty. Tally breaks down, apologizing, but Shay claims to love her new self. Just then, Cable and Paris arrive and force them into the machines to undergo the surgery. As the operation begins, the Smoke's helicopter arrives, and Croy opens fire with a flamethrower, forcing Cable and Paris to retreat. The damage stops the surgery, and the group escapes, with Maddie retrieving a crucial component for the cure. On the roof, the group encounters Paris, and Tally tries to reach him by reminding him of their past and how his scar has returned. Paris briefly shows affection by touching Tally's face, but David, thinking it's an attack, tackles Paris. The two fight, but Paris is too strong and nearly kills David. Tally intervenes, using a hoverboard to knock Paris off the roof, where he falls into a waterfall, calling Tally by her nickname as he falls. The group escapes on hoverboards, watching as other teens crash the drones in the sky. They take refuge in an abandoned city, where Maddie finishes the cure, but she warns it could have unknown side effects. Shay refuses to take it, not wanting to force the cure on anyone. Tally volunteers to be the test subject. She plans to hand herself over to the authorities, undergo the surgery, and then take the cure to see if it works. She promises to leave a signal for the others. As Cable and her forces approach, Tally says her final goodbyes and allows herself to be arrested. Sometime later, Tally is a perfect pretty, living in a luxurious apartment. Though she pretends to love her new life, the scar on her hand reveals she's still herself, acting as a spy inside the city.